The Galactic Council chamber was the largest room Daniel Carter had ever seen. It floated in space above the planet Prime, and representatives from 47 different species sat in a great circle around him. Daniel stood alone in the center, wearing his best suit and the small Earth flag pin his daughter had given him before he left home. He had been Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council for 8 years. In that time, he had made friends among the stars. He had solved disputes. He had proven that humans could be trusted. Today was supposed to be the day when Earth finally became a full member of the Galactic Union. Daniel cleared his throat and began to speak. Honored council members, humanity has spent 12 years proving ourselves worthy. We have followed every law. We have shared our culture and our science. We have been good neighbors to every species we have met. He looked around the chamber at the different alien faces. Some were friendly, some were not. The tall, gray-skinned Dominion representative, High Counselor, watched him with cold black eyes. Daniel had never trusted, but he believed in the process. He believed that fairness would win in the end. I ask the Council today to grant Earth full membership, Daniel said. Let us stand as equals among the stars. For a moment there was silence, then rose from his seat. He was nearly 3 meters tall, with 4 arms and a face that showed no emotion. I call for a special vote, said. His voice echoed through the chamber. Under Section 447 of the old laws, I declare humanity a destabilizing influence on galactic peace. Daniel felt his heart go cold. What is this? We have done nothing wrong. You have grown too fast, said. Your technology improves every year. Your population spreads to new worlds. Your ideas infect other species with dangerous thoughts of change. He turned to face the other council members. Humans are a threat. They must be stopped before they become too powerful to control. Lisa Monroe, Daniel's deputy, jumped to her feet in the observation area. This is madness. You cannot do this. Security guards moved toward her, but she kept shouting. Daniel has given everything for peace. Earth has followed every rule. Daniel raised his hand to calm her. He still believed he could fix this with words. High Counselor, let us discuss this. Whatever concerns you have, we can address them. There is no need for extreme measures. Made a sound that might have been a laugh. The vote is already done, human. It was decided before you walked into this chamber. You never had a chance. The lights in the chamber changed to red. Daniel looked around and saw that most of the council members would not meet his eyes. Only a few, like the blue-skinned Counselor Myers of the, looked horrified by what was happening. Daniel Carter announced, "You are found guilty of inciting rebellion against the Galactic Union. The sentence is death." No, Lisa screamed. She tried to run toward Daniel, but guards grabbed her and held her back. Daniel stood very still. He understood now that this had been planned for a long time. The Council, or at least the powerful species who controlled it, had decided that humanity must be broken, and they would start by killing him. If you do this, Daniel said quietly, you will regret it. Not because humans will seek revenge, but because you will have proven that this council stands for nothing. You will have shown the galaxy that power matters more than justice. Walked down from his seat until he stood before Daniel. Your words mean nothing, human. Your species is young and weak. After we deal with you, we will deal with your planet. Earth will learn its place. A guard handed a weapon. It was a long staff that glowed with blue energy. Daniel looked past his executioner to where Lisa was still struggling against the guards. Lisa, he called out, tell them, tell Earth, tell everyone what happened here today. Daniel, please. Tears ran down her face. It's okay, he said. He was surprised to find that he meant it. He had always known that being an ambassador meant putting himself in danger. He had accepted that risk because he believed in something greater than himself. Remember what we stand for. Remember why we came to the stars. Raise the weapon. Daniel Carter closed his eyes and thought of his daughter, his wife, and the blue planet he would never see again. He thought of all the humans who had worked so hard to reach this moment, only to be betrayed by fear and hatred. The weapon fired, Daniel fell. The chamber was silent except for Lisa's screams. Counselor Myers bowed her head in shame. She had known something bad was coming, but she had not known it would be this. She watched as guards dragged Lisa Monroe away, and she made a decision. She would help the human escape if she could. Someone had to tell Earth the truth. 2 hours later, Lisa Monroe sat in a small ship racing toward human space. Her hands were shaking. Her eyes were red from crying. But she had done what Daniel asked. She had recorded everything on a hidden device in her jacket. The whole galaxy would see what the Council had done. She opened a communication channel to Earth and spoke the words that would change everything. They killed him, they killed Daniel, and they're coming for all of us next. Behind her, the stars of Council space grew smaller. Ahead of her, Earth was waiting, and Earth would answer. The video played on every screen on Earth. Every phone, every television, every billboard showed the same thing. Daniel Carter standing alone in the council chamber, raising the weapon, the flash of blue light, the ambassador falling to the ground. 8 billion people watched their representative die. 8 billion people heard Lisa Monroe's warning, and 8 billion people felt the same cold anger building in their hearts. President Cole sat in the command center beneath Geneva. He had watched the video 17 times. Each time he hoped it would end differently. Each time it did not. "How long until their fleet reaches us?" he asked. Admiral Karen stood beside him, her face hard as stone. "Intelligence says they are assembling 200 warships. They call it the Correction Fleet. They will reach Earth in 6 weeks. Correction? Cole repeated the word like it was poison. They murder our ambassador and then come to correct us. They think we are weak, said. They think we will surrender. Cole finally looked away from the screen. He had been a soldier before he became a politician. He had fought in wars. He had seen friends die. But he had always believed that humanity's future lay in peace, not conflict. Daniel Carter had believed the same thing, and Daniel Carter was dead. "Show me what we really have," Cole said. Nodded. She pressed a button, and the main screen changed to show a map of the solar system. Red dots appeared around Luna, Mars, and the asteroid belt. Hundreds of red dots. "The Council thinks we have 40 combat ships," said. "They are wrong. We have 120. We kept the rest hidden in case something like this happened." Cole stared at the map. Daniel never knew about this. "No, sir. He believed in diplomacy. We did not want to burden him with secrets that might have made his job harder." Paused. "He was a good man, but good men sometimes need others to prepare for the worst." The door opened, and a thin man in a white coat entered. This was Dr. Palmer, the head of Earth's most secret military project. "Mr. President," Palmer said, "you asked me to come." "Tell me about Project Blackout," Cole said. Palmer adjusted his glasses. He always looked nervous, but today he looked especially worried. Project Blackout is a weapon system we developed in secret. It uses a special kind of energy pulse that can disable all technology within a radius of several billion kilometers. Ships, stations, weapons, communications, everything. "Everything?" asked. "Everything electronic," Palmer confirmed. "We have built 12 blackout devices. Each one can shut down an entire star system." Cole walked closer to the screen. "If we used these weapons on the Council's shipyards, how many ships could we disable?" "Thousands," Palmer said. "But sir, I must warn you, this weapon does not choose sides. If our own ships are within range, they will be disabled too, and the effects last for months. Any system we hit will be helpless for a very long time." Cole nodded slowly. He understood what Palmer was saying. Project Blackout was not just a weapon. It was a way to reshape the entire galaxy. It was power that no species had ever held before. "The Council thinks humans are children," Cole said. They think we are weak because we talk about peace. They do not understand that we choose peace because we know what we are capable of when we choose war. He turned to Face and Palmer. Send one final message to the council. Tell them to return Ambassador Carter's body. Tell them to hand over everyone responsible for his murder. Tell them they have one chance to avoid what is coming. And if they refuse, asked, then we show them what humanity can do when 8 billion people are united in anger. The message was sent. The council's response came 2 days later. It was a single word, no. Added a longer statement. He said that Earth should be grateful the council was only sending 200 ships. He said that humans should surrender now and accept their place as a minor species. He said that the death of Daniel Carter was justice, and that more humans would die if Earth did not obey. President Cole read the message in front of his advisors. When he finished, he set it down on the table very carefully. They think we are bluffing, he said quietly. Yes, sir, confirmed. Cole stood and walked to the window. Outside, the sun was setting over the mountains. It was a beautiful evening. Somewhere out there, families were having dinner. Children were playing. People were living their lives, not knowing that everything was about to change. Begin full military mobilization, Cole ordered. Move the hidden fleet to staging positions. Prepare Project Blackout for deployment. He paused. And Lisa Monroe, the deputy ambassador, I want her here. She knows how the council thinks. She will help us plan. Yes, sir. Cole turned back to face his advisors. His eyes were hard now. The man who had believed in peace was gone. In his place stood something else, something that the council had created with their own hands. They killed a man who wanted nothing but friendship, Cole said. They will learn that this was the worst mistake in the history of their civilization. He signed the order and spoke the words that would echo through history. Initiate total retribution. God forgive us for what we are about to do. The machines of war began to move. Earth was going to answer. The correction fleet moved through space like a river of metal and fire. 200 warships from 12 different species, all united under council command. At the head of the fleet flew the flagship of High Counselor, a massive vessel called the Divine Will. Stood on his command bridge and watched the stars pass by. In 4 weeks his fleet would reach Earth. In 5 weeks humanity would be broken. He had waited a long time for this moment. Reports, he commanded. His tactical officer bowed. All ships are on schedule, High Counselor. No sign of human resistance. Their pathetic fleet remains near their planet, too afraid to fight. Made a pleased sound. As expected, humans talk about courage, but when danger comes, they hide. This war will be over before it truly begins. He did not know that he was being watched. 3 light years away, in the darkness between stars, Captain sat in the command chair of the S-Vengeance. His ship was completely black, designed to be invisible to any sensor the Council possessed. Around him, 40 other stealth ships waited in perfect silence. Status report, said quietly. Lieutenant Commander Amy looked up from her console. The correction fleet has no idea we are here, sir. They passed within 1,000,000 kilometers of our position and detected nothing. Nodded, the Council thought humans were primitive. They thought Earth's technology was decades behind their own. They were very, very wrong. Earth had been pretending to be weaker than it was for years. While diplomats like Daniel Carter worked for peace, engineers and scientists had worked in secret. They had developed faster engines, better weapons, and ships that could move through space like ghosts. Time to begin, said. Signal the other groups. Execute Phase 1. Across Council space, things began to happen. Communication relay stations suddenly went offline. Supply depots lost contact with their headquarters. The great network that connected the Council's military fell apart piece by piece. On the Divine Will, alarms began to sound. High Counselor, the tactical officer shouted, We have lost contact with command. We have lost contact with all relay stations. We are blind. Felt something he had not felt in centuries. Fear. How is this possible? Find the source of the problem. We cannot, sir. There is nothing on our sensors. It is as if the attacks are coming from nowhere. Far away, in 3 different star systems, Earth's secret weapon activated. Project Blackout devices hidden in asteroids and debris fields suddenly came to life. Waves of energy spread outward like ripples in a pond. On Prime, the Council's largest shipyard, every light went dark. Engines stopped. Weapons went cold. 300 warships that were being prepared to join the correction fleet became useless metal boxes floating in space. The same thing happened at Vesper Station and the Dominion's home shipyards. In a single hour, the Council lost 2,000 ships without a single shot being fired. High Counselor, the tactical officer's voice was shaking now. Reports are coming in from across Council space. Our shipyards are gone. Our reserves are disabled. We are alone. Gripped the railing of his command bridge. Impossible. Humans cannot do this. They are primitives. A new voice came through the communication system. It was calm and cold. This is Admiral Karen of Earth's Defense Fleet. Your communication network is destroyed. Your reserves are disabled. Your fleet is surrounded. Looked at the sensor display and saw what he had missed before. Ships were appearing from nowhere, dropping their stealth fields. Human ships, hundreds of them. They formed a ring around the correction fleet, blocking every escape route. You face 300 Earth warships, continued. Your fleet numbers 200 and your crews are confused and afraid. You have one chance to surrender. Take it. His tactical officer looked at him with terror in his eyes. Sir, we cannot win this fight. We should surrender. Never hissed. All ships attack, destroy the humans. The Battle of the Void began. Council ships fired their weapons at the human fleet. They expected their shots to tear through primitive human armor. Instead, their weapons splashed harmlessly against shields that were far stronger than anything they had seen before. The humans fired back. Earth's weapons were different. They punched through Council armor like it was made of paper. Ship after ship exploded in bright flashes of light. The Council formation broke apart as captains tried to flee. Captain guided the Vengeance through the chaos. His ship struck at enemy command vessels, cutting off their leadership one by one. Another one down, reported. Enemy coordination is falling apart. Keep pushing, ordered. They need to understand that this is what happens when you murder an innocent man. The battle lasted 3 hours. When it was over, 160 Council ships had been destroyed. The rest had surrendered. Only 12 human ships had taken serious damage, and none had been lost. Stood alone on his damaged bridge. Smoke filled the air. His crew was dead or surrendered. His fleet was gone. Admiral's voice came through the speakers one more time. High Counselor, your flagship is the last vessel still fighting. Stand down, or we will end this. Said nothing. He had no words left. Far away, on the bridge of her own flagship, Admiral gave her next order. Set course for Prime. The Council will answer for what they have done. The human fleet moved forward. The war was not over yet. Prime had never seen anything like this. The great orbital station that housed the Galactic Council was surrounded by human warships. They hung in space like a wall of steel, blocking every escape route, watching every movement. Inside the station, panic had taken hold. Council members shouted at each other. Military commanders argued about what to do. Civilians rushed to find shelter, though there was nowhere safe to hide. High Counselor had been brought to the station as a prisoner. He sat in a holding cell, his 4 arms bound, his face empty. The great leader who had ordered Daniel Carter's death was now just a defeated old creature waiting to learn his fate. President Cole arrived on the station aboard a heavily armored shuttle. He was flanked by soldiers and diplomats, including Lisa Monroe, who had insisted on being there. She needed to see this through. She needed to finish what Daniel had started. Admiral met them in the landing bay. "Mr. President, the station is secured. We have captured all military targets. Civilian areas are untouched, as you ordered." Cole nodded. "Casualties?" "Minimal. Most Council species refused to fight once they saw what happened to the correction fleet. Only the Dominion soldiers resisted, and even they surrendered quickly." Paused. Commander Bradley led the boarding teams. He made sure his soldiers showed restraint. No unnecessary deaths. "Good," Cole said. "I did not come here to slaughter innocents. I came here for justice." They walked through the station's corridors. Aliens of many species watched them pass. Some looked afraid. Some looked curious. A few even looked relieved, as if they were glad the old council was finally facing consequences for its crimes. Counselor Myers met them outside the main chamber. The blue-skinned bowed her head respectfully. "President Cole," she said, "I am glad you came in person. Many of us hoped this day would come, though we were too afraid to act." "You helped Lisa escape," Cole said. "We have not forgotten that." "It was the least I could do. Daniel Carter was a good being. What the council did to him was evil." Myers looked at the closed doors of the chamber. "The other council members are inside. Most of them are ready to cooperate. They know the old ways are finished." Cole turned to Lisa. "Are you ready?" Lisa took a deep breath. 6 weeks ago she had fled this station in terror, watching her mentor die. Now she was back and everything was different. "I am ready." The doors opened. The council chamber looked the same as it had on that terrible day. The same circle of seats, the same high ceiling, the same cold lights, but now the seats were mostly empty. Only a handful of council members remained, and they looked small and frightened. President Cole walked to the center of the chamber, the same spot where Daniel Carter had stood before his death. He looked around at the aliens who had once believed they could murder humans without consequence. "I am Cole, President of United Earth," he said. His voice was calm but carried throughout the chamber. "I have come to deliver judgment." No one spoke, no one moved. 6 weeks ago, this council murdered Ambassador Daniel Carter. You killed him because you were afraid of humanity. You thought that killing one man would break us. You thought we would bow down and accept our place as slaves. Cole let the silence stretch for a moment. "You were wrong. You did not break us. You united us. 8 billion people who might have argued among themselves instead came together with one purpose. You created the very thing you feared." He began to pace around the chamber, looking at each council member in turn. "We could have destroyed this station. We could have killed everyone on board. Our weapons are strong enough to crack planets. Our anger is deep enough to burn your civilizations to ash." He stopped and faced them directly. "But we did not come here for revenge. We came here for justice. There is a difference." The chamber doors opened again, and guards brought in. The former High Counselor was forced to stand before President Cole. His eyes were dull with defeat. "This creature ordered Daniel Carter's execution," Cole said. "He planned to enslave humanity. He lied to this council and manipulated you into supporting his crimes." Cole looked at with cold contempt. "He will stand trial. A real trial with evidence and defense and judgment by multiple species. Not the fake justice this council used to murder my friend." Finally spoke. His voice was weak. "You cannot do this. I am a High Counselor. I have rights under galactic law." "Galactic law," Cole repeated. "The same law that let you execute an innocent man without a real trial. The same law that was going to let you conquer Earth without cause." He shook his head. "That law is dead. We are going to build something better." Lisa Monroe stepped forward. She had been silent until now, but she needed to speak. "Daniel Carter believed in peace," she said. "He believed that different species could work together and build something good. You killed him because you were afraid of that belief. You were afraid that humans would prove him right. She looked at the council members who had done nothing to stop the murder. He was right. Humans do believe in cooperation. We believe in fairness. We believe in giving everyone a chance. Her voice grew stronger. But we also believe in consequences. You do not get to murder good people and walk away. Not anymore. President Cole nodded to his guards. Take to his cell. The trial begins tomorrow. As the former High Counselor was led away, Cole addressed the chamber one final time. This council will be reformed. New rules will be written. All species will have equal voice and equal protection. Anyone who objects is free to leave, but know this: humanity will be watching. We will never again allow tyranny to rule the stars. He turned and walked out of the chamber. Lisa followed him. Behind them, the old order crumbled. Ahead of them, a new galaxy waited to be built. 6 months had passed since the siege of Prime. The galaxy had changed in ways that no one could have predicted. The trial lasted 4 weeks. Representatives from 30 species served as judges. Witnesses came from across known space to tell their stories. Not just about Daniel Carter, but about centuries of abuse by the old council leadership. It turned out that humanity was not the first species had tried to destroy. He had crushed rebellions, silenced voices, and murdered anyone who threatened his power. For hundreds of years, smaller species had lived in fear of the Dominion and their allies. They had been too weak to fight back. Until now. The evidence was overwhelming. Recordings, documents, testimony from his own former allies who now wanted to save themselves. Sat in the defendant's chair and watched his legacy burn around him. When the verdict came, it surprised no one. Guilty on all charges. Guilty of murder. Guilty of conspiracy. Guilty of crimes against sentient beings. The sentence was life imprisonment on a barren moon at the edge of known space. He would spend his remaining years alone with his memories. The Dominion species was ordered to pay reparations to every civilization they had harmed. Their military was reduced. Their colonies were given independence. The great empire that had ruled through fear was broken. But Earth did not seek to replace one tyranny with another. President Cole worked with Counselor Myers and representatives from dozens of species to write a new galactic charter. This document guaranteed rights for all beings. It created fair courts where disputes could be resolved without violence. It established rules that even the strongest species had to follow. We did not win this war to become the new masters, Cole said at the signing ceremony. We won so that there would be no more masters. Every species deserves the right to grow, to explore, to make mistakes and learn from them. That is what Daniel Carter believed. That is what we fight for. The charter was signed by 43 species on the first day. Within a month, the number had grown to 60. Civilizations that had hidden from the old council now came forward, eager to be part of something better. Lisa Monroe became Earth's new ambassador to the Reformed Council. She took her seat in the Great Chamber, in the same position Daniel Carter had held. It felt strange to be there, knowing what had happened in this room, but it also felt right. On her desk, she kept Daniel's old diplomatic badge. It was scratched and worn from years of service. She touched it every morning before starting her work, remembering the man who had taught her everything. The council chamber itself had been changed. Where Daniel had been killed, there now stood a memorial. It was a simple stone pillar with names carved into it. Not just Daniel's name, but the names of all who had died under the old council's tyranny. Thousands of names from dozens of species. At the base of the memorial, words were carved in every known language. Never again. Admiral remained in command of Earth's defense fleet. Human warships now patrolled the major trade routes, not as conquerors, but as protectors. Pirates and slavers who had operated freely under the old council found themselves facing justice for the first time. "We do not want to be the galaxy's police," said in an interview. But we will not stand by while innocent people suffer. That is not who humans are. Dr. Palmer continued his work on advanced technology, though Project Blackout was locked away in the deepest vaults. It was too dangerous to use lightly, but everyone knew it was there, and that knowledge helped keep the peace. 1 year after Daniel Carter's death, a ceremony was held in the council chamber. Representatives from across the galaxy gathered to remember him and to celebrate how far they had come. President Cole spoke first. Daniel Carter was my friend. He believed that the universe could be a good place if we worked together to make it so. He died for that belief, but his death was not the end of his dream. It was the beginning. Counselor Myra spoke next. I was there when he died. I did nothing to stop it, and I will carry that shame forever, but I can honor his memory by doing better. We all can. Finally, Lisa Monroe rose to address the assembly. She walked to the podium and placed Daniel's badge where everyone could see it. I knew Daniel for 10 years, she said. He taught me that being an ambassador is not about clever words or political games. It is about building bridges between people who are different. It is about finding common ground even when it seems impossible. She looked around the chamber at the many species gathered there. Some had been enemies not long ago. Now they sat together, working toward shared goals. Humans are not perfect, Lisa continued. We make mistakes, we get angry, we sometimes act before we think, but we also believe in second chances. We believe that people can change. We believe that tomorrow can be better than today. She picked up Daniel's badge and held it in her hand. This belonged to a man who gave his life for peace. He did not get to see what we have built. He did not get to see the galaxy we are creating, but I believe he would be proud. Lisa placed the badge back on the podium and looked directly at the assembly. My predecessor believed in peace. He died for that belief. I still believe in peace too, but let this day serve as a reminder to all species. Humanity will never be silent in the face of evil. We will never bow to tyrants, and we will never forget our own. The chamber erupted in applause. Species that had never agreed on anything joined together in celebrating a new beginning. Outside the station, Earth's fleet held position among the stars. Protectors, not conquerors. Guardians of a peace that had been bought with blood and tears. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Humans were not weak because they sought peace. They were strong because they knew when peace was worth fighting for. Daniel Carter's dream lived on, and the stars were brighter for it.